Now let's say something about Echan.
Who is the Queen Mother?
The Queen Mother among the Asantes. If you are called Echan, your appellation is Oyiakwan. Oyiakwan, one who makes two ways.
The way, okay.
Who makes the way. They said during the Civil War period, she was the one who sustained Ashanti and was the one who stood firm and tried to bring about peace between Ashanti and the coastal states and protected trade. So they call it Achan Oyiakwan. She was able to bring peace among the Ashantis and between Ashanti and other states. So every Ashanti woman called Echan, the appellation is Oyiakwan.
Makes the way.
Now, the governor now comes, and when the Asante looked up, he saw that he was facing the governor with thousands of troops behind him. And then he had his people behind him who had not anticipated war. Because as I told you, the second letter sent by the governor only mentioned the fact that he was coming to collect money.
Yeah. Not bring troops. Okay.
So he didn't know, Asantes never anticipated that they had lured them completely. And all this trick worked because of an Asante rascal. Please, just as when you go to Dunkwa or Jukwa, you shouldn't mention the name Intim Jakari. In Kumasi, especially within Menchia Palace, don't mention the name Kwame Tuah.
Well noted.
Okay. This Kwame Tuah, so you see that has become part of the Twi language, Tuatifo, dissidents. This Kwame Tuah, an Ashanti royal, who rather associated with the Fantes and the British on the coast.
Ashanti's enemies.
Yes. And made Ashanti his own enemy and would always send his son to the coast to tell them whatever Ashanti was planning. That's why the Ashantis have a saying that se Tuatia na broniati. Anything that Tuah would hear, the next moment the white people on the coast would hear. So he became their ally among them, and he was given full protection. Colonial soldiers protecting him. He became a very famous, why say infamous Ashanti man. Everybody feared him.
In modern terms, he would be almost like an intelligence officer working on behalf of the British.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So if you put it that way. And so they had to protect him, give him everything that this man needed. He had told them that if you're able to take their chief away, the power will be limited. But apart from that, you should know that you can't just get the Asante Hene. You should find a very nice way of capturing him without war. Because when you capture him, your governor too will not leave Kumasi, they will kill him. So the Ashantis the British knew this from Kwame Tuah. So they made a sitting arrangement such that capturing Prempeh would be easy. Because if the Ashantis decided to fight, where are your guns? Going home and coming back would be too late.
Because they came there without their guns.
It's as simple. And then the moment you fire a gunshot, they will kill all the Ashanti chiefs who had assembled to welcome the governor. So when the Asante Hene sat there for some time, silence, total silence, and there was nothing he could think of. I said this man was a wise man. He got up with his mother, Nana Yecha, and the two of them walked to the governor. And it was the first time in the history of Ashanti that the Asante Hene would get up, remove his golden crown, and then remove his sandals and walk barefooted to the governor.
Wasn't that a taboo in Ashanti culture?
It was a taboo.
The chief's feet cannot touch the ground.
He had to commit a taboo, commit a sacrilege just to save his kingdom.
Why is it that the chief's feet should not touch the ground?
Oh, you are the replica of the gods. So you have to be protected. You have to behave like God. You don't have to be too close to nature that you are not poor. So he went and knelt down before the governor.
This is Governor Frederick Hodgson?
It was Maxwell. He knelt down before Maxwell and pleaded with him that I will serve you. Give me time to pay the money. I would accept your representative in Kumasi, and there will be total peace in Ashanti, and whatever you say, we will do. And then the governor said, please, I have not come here to hear these things, my aim is to collect the money immediately. And then the Asante Hine also replied in all humility that, as you know, the war was fought in 1874. And my uncle Kofi Kakari was the one who brought the war and was the one who should have paid the money. Kofi Kakari did not pay the money. Mensa Bonsu did not pay the money. And then today you are asking me to come and pay this money. So for me, it's a surprise. That is why you should give me time to pay.
He was negotiating.
Yes, to negotiate. The British had not come for any negotiation. So immediately they seized him and everybody there, that's all the Asante chiefs, they seized them and then started taking them away. And the Ashantis stood there in complete silence because they looked at an army many times bigger than their own and then well armed, and they didn't have that level of ammunition. So they took their chief to Cape Coast first, where the governor was, and then later on transferred them to Elmina, and then from Elmina to Seychelles.
They deported the king.
They deported the king and would not come back from 1896 until 1924. Now, Kwame Tuah went back to the colony, the coast, and told the government that, you see, among the Asantes, the occupant of the golden stool was not as important as the stool. So until you have gone back for the stool, the Asantes would always reorganize and come and fight you. Then the governor said, but the king is going to say, yes, the system is matrilineal. So when you kill Ashanti men, they don't bother. But for as long as there are women to produce more men, men are nothing to Akans, and in particular the Ashantis. So the chief that you've taken away, they've placed somebody there.
Already?
Yeah, so please go back and this time go and ask for the golden stool. Before they realized, Kwame Tuah's son had gone to tell them that they knew the people who were protecting the golden stool and at a certain location. So the governor immediately sent one Captain Armitage with some Hausa troops to go and pick the golden stool. It was at a place called Barakese, very close to Offenso. So they went there. And before they could get there, the queen mother of Offenso, and I believe Kafui, this woman should be given the same prestige and the same reverence, if not higher, than Asante Kingdom, called Nana Afranewa. Had heard this, because when Kwame Tuah's son was living, in fact, Kwame Tuah himself, we are told, was from the Barakese area, the Bari area. So when his son was living Ohim, so she heard it and quickly went with certain royals to pick the golden stool to safety. And the very time the Hausa troops got there with Armitage, the Asantes had waylaid them and they killed all of them. It was only the white man who was able to escape, but the Hausa people were killed. So it means that this later Asante war that would occur would have been useless and of no consequence if Nana Afranewa had not come in. So you see the importance of this woman, and I believe that all those hearing us will relay the message to the Offenso Hine and the Asante Hine, and in fact, Asante Man Council, that something immediately should be done in the honor of Nana Afranewa of Offenso.
So the stool was safe?
Was completely safe.
Okay.
Thanks to Nana Afranewa.
What was the reaction of the governor?
The governor was very angry, so he came himself. And the new governor was Sir Frederick Hodgson.
Okay.
He came himself to Kumasi. And when he came, he told them that, look, the first thing, after the defeat of the Asantes, they had built this Kumasi fort between 1896 and 1900. They had completed the fort. So when he came, that was where he lodged, he and his wife, and then a big retinue. They came and then met the Asantes that you know why we have come. Prempeh is no more your king. And none of you sitting there should serve Kumasi again. So from today, every one of you is a separate and distinct paramountcy. Nobody to call himself or themselves Asante.
So after Prempeh the First was deported and taken off to Seychelles, did the Asantes install a new Asante?
Yes, the stool will not be vacant. They installed Asante Prempeh II.
The stool has always got to be vacant.
Yes, it doesn't ever have to be
vacant.
vacant. Okay. So they installed Prempeh II. And that was one of the things that annoyed them. Then Kwame Tuah would make them know that, I told you, if you kill 1,000 more shall come and face you. But the thing that when you are able to take away, nothing could be replaced. And that will bring the total annihilation and disintegration of Ashanti. It's the golden stool. So go for it. So that day when Frederick Watson came, he was given a seat, all right, he and his people. And we are told that at the assembly, the Ashantes were very angry because that second assembly had reminded them of the earlier one where the British had tricked them and taken away their king.
Yes, they came there unarmed and they were surprised.
Yes.
Okay.
So this time, their aim was to fight till the last man had died. They would do that. It was their aim. Now the governor starts talking about the fact that people will be made to do communal labor to build government houses in Ashanti. All of you people will cooperate with all the southern states as one country, and then you will serve us. So no more anybody who would serve the Asante Hene. Nobody called Asante. You have Kumasi Hene, Ofeso Hene, Jabe Hene, Ejiso, everybody, Kokofu Hene.
Hene is king.
A chief. Okay,
Yeah.
And then on top of the Hene people is the governor. So in place of the Prempeh the First, the Asante Hene, is now the governor. And because I can't be here all the time, I will put somebody here in the fort, the Kumasi fort, who will represent me. So when you have any case, anything, you should bring it to the Kumasi fort and not the Menchia Palace. Then the last one was that, the last but one, he split the money. He said, I know you may not be able to pay in gold now, but you can pay in money's worth. So every year, you will pay 15,000 pounds as interest on the 50,000 ounces of gold until the time that you get the total amount and you bring it to us.
Was Hodgson a banker?
Why don't you ask King Charles? King Charles, son of Queen Elizabeth II. So you should do it today. So I'm allowing you to think about that. And as the British would always do, anybody with a question to ask, you can ask the question. But before arriving at that juncture, he said, look at the chair you have given me. Was Prempeh the First sitting on a chair? I'm told that he was sitting on a stool called the golden stool, the Sikaja. I'm sure how he would say Sikaja. How do you think he would pronounce it?
Sikaja.
The Sikaja. Or Sikagua. So please, go and bring it to me because I am his successor. Not just an ordinary successor, his conqueror. And don't ever think that the man will come back. So I am the one here. Give me the stool, and then I will be happy. I will go back.
And from everything you've said, he was seriously misinformed because no Asante sits on the golden stool.
No Asante sits on the golden stool. But the positive part of the information was that, indeed, the moment he succeeds in taking that stool away, it will be the end of the soul of Ashanti.